Recon Athlete Podcast is brought to you by Kreitz Market, The Social, and Focus Fit San Marcos.
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
All right. Recon Athlete, episode 90. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez on the line. I don't know what Zach is going to do. He was kind of like vague on the messenger. We were like, are y'all, because I was like, are y'all coming in or are y'all calling in? And Paul, you said call in, and then Zach said not me.
Right.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know if he was saying not me, I'm not coming in, or not me, I'm not calling in. But
yeah, we find out.
We'll figure it out. I don't know. Yeah. So, but this time, Snoop Daniel's on the couch over here. So, you know, shout out to Snoop. So if Zach shows up, then he'll grab the door for me. I don't have to like get up and get up and grab the door. You know, like a pizza's here or something.
Well, I mean, pizza's good.
I mean, yeah, I should have got one.
I got pizza tonight.
From where?
Pizza Hut.
Okay.
I like stuffed crust. I mean, I dig the stuffed crust.
Do you ever get the Big Dipper?
No, I've never gotten the Big Dipper.
Really?
I'll just be real, man. Like, quarantine, everybody quarantine. But lately there's been an uptick in masks in Lockhart, America lately,
okay.
And so I'm a mask guy if the store wants me to wear a mask.
Right.
And I like Little Caesars. Like if I'm gonna do like faux via 313.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I just decided I was gonna do curbside pickup for Pizza Hut because I don't like the way curbside does for the other places.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of why I went that route. And plus I was like, hey, stuffed crust. I haven't had pizza in 2 weeks. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to dig on that tonight.
Okay. Well, I just know, like, because you say Pizza Hut, because in the midst of the initial quarantine, which we might be going into another one, hopefully not. But, I mean, the way numbers are looking like right now, we might be going into another lockdown. In the midst of all that, Snoop Daniel was getting the Big Dipper probably like almost, I'd say like twice, maybe 3 times a week. And it's so much pizza, man. Like, it's just like 2 feet of pizza.
Yeah, it's big.
And the first time we were disappointed, or Snoop was disappointed, because the first time they call it the Big Dipper because you get like 4 dips, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he opens the box and there was no dips.
So you're talking about like sauces?
Yeah, the sauces. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there was like the marinara, ranch, and then whatever else you get, barbecue. Yeah, I mean, and he opened it up and it was just empty little slots. And we were disappointed.
Did you call?
No, I mean, like at that point, like you're in the middle of the quarantine. It's like, man, do you call them and tell them to come all the way back and bring your sauces?
Hell yeah, yeah. I'm like, look, I don't. Not only do I want my sauces, I need a pizza on the house next time.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, how hard is it to grab a couple sauces? And I say that because I say this: the girl today, the lady, she was a girl. She was under 18. Mm-hmm. The girl literally coming out the door of my local Pizza Hut, and she does a 180. She like opens the door. She's like 2 steps out. And she's like, "Oh, wait a minute, got to go back in." And she said, as she came back to my car for the second time, she was like, "I'm so sorry, I forgot your shaker of Parmesan cheese and red pepper flakes." So I went back in to get them. I'm like, thank you so much. That's so awesome and so courteous for you to remember to do that. And I was like, that's customer service. So, I mean, maybe it's just the pizza. Maybe it's the Pizza Hut in Austin. I don't know.
All right. So Wes on the comments here, he says, hey, Paul, he said, Chubby's disappointed at your pizza choice.
Hey,
So,
I live in a town of less than 12,000 people.
Yeah.
So let's wait. Let's wait for the judgment. Let's wait for the judgment. And the local mom and pop pizzerias, there's only one other than the 3 local chains. So let's take it easy for a minute.
What else they got over there?
So they have the 3 I mentioned, and then they have Loop and Lil's Pizza.
Okay.
They have a really bomb pizzeria in Red Rock. It's called Wizardville, but that's a drive. Like that would be like you going to Corner Bar to go have a drink from where you are.
Okay.
Attic Studios. That's how far it is.
Well, okay. Let's be honest. Let's be fair here, though. Before we move on to our topics, let's be fair here. For me, like right now, especially, with not a whole lot of people on the road, it only takes me about 15 minutes to get to Corner Bar, maybe.
Okay. Well,
15 minutes.
I guess where I'm looking at this is a 30 to 35 minute drive.
Okay. Now,
and there's no traffic in Lockhart, America.
Right.
Now, I was taking into consideration like normal Austin traffic, non-COVID, scenario. So just want to put that in the ethos.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So what did you mention the other? You said Pizza Hut, and what else y'all got in Lockhart?
There's Domino's and there's Little Caesars. Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's one place that's like mom and pop.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and then shout out to Francesca. She's on the watch party. She says, I love Pizza Hut. So.
See, I know she does.
I don't know, man. Like Austin, Texas, man. I tell you what, we got a lot of good pizza places here, man. I mean,
I know
a lot of people don't really like. It doesn't really get a lot of shout out for the pizza here, but I mean, my favorite's Via 313, the Detroit style.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Home Slice is good. Eastside Pies is good. Little Deli over here on Woodrow Avenue, a little known place, but it's in the neighborhood. That's good. I'm not a big fan of Austin's Pizza, but there's but then and of course for me the tried and true is Mr. Gaddy's. So you got to get the ranch though.
Okay.
So, but that's what's up. But enough about pizza. Let's shout out to Kreitz Market, our sponsor. You got to get that barbecue. I got to get down to Lockhart.
So speaking of that, since you got to get down to Lockhart, you have been cordially and encouraged. I don't even think encouraged is a word. You've been encouraged and cordially invited to join Lion Pride Sports Broadcasting.
Oh yeah,
Monday the 13th. So as a caveat, that's next Monday. Okay. As a caveat, I'm going to be on the show as well as 2 of my cousins who played on that 2000 team for the Lockhart Lions. So if you don't got to make a decision now, but if you have time, you've been asked to join from the Sarge. They've told me like, hey, can you tell Chris? I'm like, yeah, I can tell him.
Yeah. But
Chris is a busy man in Austin, Texas. So.
I mean, I should. What time does it start?
Probably it's going to be 6:45 until like 9ish. Okay. 9:30ish.
Okay. All right. I'll put that. I'll pencil it in right now. Supposed to be running payroll on Monday, so I should be okay. I should be okay by that time, though.
So I just wanted to say, Sarge, I told him on the air. So, right. And I know you're busy, man. Like you're handling payroll for a big school district, so I get it.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And shout out to Snoop on my watch party. He says he says he was livid when they forgot his sauces.
I would have called. I'm just saying.
He was. That's for sure. Yeah.
I heard that.
I know, right? Yeah, he was not happy. He's not happy. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 90. Only 10 away from 100. Man. And we took a little bit of a break. 4th of July week. We took off last Wednesday and last Saturday. Just to give us a little break, recharge our batteries, decompress, as Snoop likes to say, and just kind of get back and hit this last few episodes before we get to 100. Real, and get the engines all cleaned up and all ready, and make sure that we are going full bore once we hit the 100th episode. Which I haven't done the math yet. Did you redo the math?
So yeah, the math that it puts us at now, if I'm not wrong, it's going to be the second Saturday in August, and that should be August 8th.
Okay. And by then, in theory, we might be having baseball, basketball, and football will be not starting yet, but should be getting there, right?
We should have a better picture of what's going to happen, not only for high school and college, but I think we should have a definitive answer for pro, because technically everybody's supposed to arrive July 28th for NFL.
Yeah.
But the teams who play that first Thursday game, I think it's September 3rd, I think, or 10th, whatever the first Thursday game is. There's two teams. They can jump. I think they can come in on the 25th, because you got to give them those 3 days, because each team has to have, I think, 48 days before their kickoff.
Okay.
For the regular season. And I don't think we're going to have a preseason. I mean, I know that's what the NFLPA is discussing right now. And that's something I've talked about earlier in the episodes, and we've been discussing.
Well, I mean, they talked about it, just cutting it down to 2. NFL cut it down to 2, and then NFL.
Yeah, that's already done.
Yeah, that's already done. NFLPA came back and said, let's just not have any. So, I mean, if they don't have any preseason games, will they still have any of those little inter squad scrimmages that they usually do? Like when the Cowboys and Raiders, they got to have that at least.
I would say they would, and that even may be like a glorified preseason game, like the scrimmages you're talking about, and during camp. And so I could highly see those being broadcast on ESPN or NFL Network just for some views and sell some advertising space, especially if no preseason games are done. And I'll say this: if there's no preseason games, if there's only 2 preseason games, man, that ad space could be pretty expensive. Just for me.
Yeah, it's going to be
just in my view.
It'll be lucrative for the NFL for sure, because there's going to be a lot of eyes on that screen, and I mean, it's got to be rivaling the Super Bowl at that point. I mean, you're talking about preseason games, or
it's got to be playoff numbers, I would say.
Right.
I mean, like NFC Championship, AFC Championship, like maybe not Super Bowl numbers, but pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people are going to be clamoring for it, because people are going to start. They're going to start their fantasy leagues, going to start doing their drafts, in preparation for all this. And once those drafts start, that's when the NFL hype machine really starts, And
some people, Chris, start their drafts in July. Like I know my squad, like we do things a little bit differently. We're a little too bougie for some people, but I mean, we take off. We go to a ranch in the middle of nowhere, and I'm taking off 4 days from work for this event, and I do it annually. I've been doing this since 2005, and like 40 of us guys, we're blessed financially. We're blessed, and we go out there and we set up our fantasy league, and we cook for each other, and it's a little bit of fellowship out there, but at the same time, like, we're not scared to talk a little shit to each other. And while we're playing poker, watching football, or pitching washers in the evening time, it's a big to do for us. And so that's something that kicks off, and there's a lot of money involved when you get to the fantasy sports leagues for all the big platforms, ESPN, Yahoo, NFL Network. So everybody's going to be making money if the season goes on, which I think it will.
All right, Recon Athlete, episode 90, Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto. I don't know where he is, what he's doing. He might be playing volleyball or something. But shout out to everybody on the watch party. Shout out to Snoop Daniel over here chilling in the Paddock Studios. All right, since we're on the NFL, we might as well get to our main topic of the night. Patrick Mahomes, the $500 million man. $503 million, as I put my pinky up to my, corner of my mouth, a la Dr. Evil style. I mean, that's a whole lot of money, Paul Rodriguez.
It's $500 million on paper.
Yeah.
It's $500 million on paper, and here's the kicker: it's going to be $250 million in Patrick Mahomes' pocket after taxes.
Yeah,
that's just insane numbers. And I know it's incentive laden, and I understand that this contract is pretty much a baseball contract. This is similar to what baseball players get.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would see it in the NFL to where a player would give. He basically gave the Chiefs his career. In my opinion, he basically just gave him his career. And unless things change, which they could change, tell Zach to break me off some of that Dr. Pepper.
I know. ¿Qué me traes, mijo? ¿Qué me traes? ¿Me traes un taquito? I got you. You got me one.
Where's the cream, bro? Where's the Dr. Pepper cream?
Bro, I'm on my last can. I got saved when the time's right.
Yeah, since we're about to go on lockdown again, he's making sure he gets that. Yeah. He has that just in case in reserve.
I'm gonna have to put it in like little Ziplocs.
Right. So we getting on Patrick Mahomes right now. I mean, NH hashtag. $500 million. Paul was saying $250 million in his pocket after taxes.
A little under, but yeah.
A little bit under. And Paul just said that he pretty much gave the Chiefs his whole career. It's a 10-year deal. And we're talking, the way quarterbacks are lasting now and the way the NFL is set up. I mean, it's all about protecting the quarterbacks, man. So, I feel like he might have another 10 years.
And I think also like
after the contract.
Right. And I think also like the time of a quarterback like going to a franchise and like playing only with them forever is like gone. Like
ever since Tom Brady went to Tampa.
Like Tom Brady, Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, like these quarterbacks just like they can't hang it up. Yeah. And their organization will hang it up for them before they'll hang it up themselves. And because of that, like after this 10 years is done, if year 9 he's regressing, the Chiefs will be like, all right, well, we're not going to sign you again. And Mahomes will be like, well, I'll go play somewhere else. Even if they sign him to another big deal, like another long-term deal, probably not 10 years, but like maybe like 4 or 6 or something like that, they'll probably not 6, but like 4 years.
4 years. I mean, he'll be 36 after this one.
Right. So maybe like 4 years. If he regresses, the Chiefs will cut ties and he'll go play somewhere else. Because there's always someone that's going to want to be tied to these big names, even if it's just a Tampa Bay Buccaneers to kind of give them a little bump in popularity.
So, Paul, do you think that, in your opinion, saying that he gave them their career is part of that because of his playing style? You think that, at 36, he might be, ready to hang it up at that point?
I mean, I kind of took my impression was, in my opinion, was that, that the average career for the NFL player is like 2.5 years. And with quarterbacks, it's probably 10 years. And so that was kind of what I based it off. But to answer your question, let's just play the hypothetical on both sides. Let's say he does regress, and let's say in 4 years he has 3 Super Bowls in the middle of that contract, and they're saying, okay, well, we're going to trade you out. So then I'm sure that contract gets rearranged. But if we say on the flip side, let's say he has a career similar to Tom Brady, where Tom Brady had 9 Super Bowl appearances. Well, if Tom Brady had 8 or 7 Super Bowl rings instead of the 6 he has, I think he has 7. If he would have had more Super Bowl rings, I think he definitely would hang it up. But we don't know because we don't know how big the CBA is going to be.
So six wasn't enough for Tom Brady?
I mean, apparently not. If he's going down to Tampa with all that, the plethora of weapons he has there, I don't know. I mean, the answer to me is no.
Yeah. Okay, so
but for Mahomes, the way he plays, it's hard to tell, in my opinion. Now, I mean, we can't think about 10 years from now, but what I do think is Patrick Mahomes' money really doesn't kick in until 2021, and so they could rattle off 2 or 3 more Super Bowls and be real comfortable. Maybe extend or increase the wages for Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, even these like run-heavy quarterbacks that, these run-heavy quarterbacks will still like RG3 is still in the league. Even when their physical prime is done, they can't let it go. Like RG3 would rather be a backup than not play. So I think, I just feel like there's never enough. The only time there's enough is when they're like just tapped out completely.
But why is that, right? I mean, they're looking at Chase Daniel. They're looking at Chase Daniel and him in his whole career making $34 million for playing 5 starts. There's money to be made.
And I think because of that, like Patrick Mahomes will be in the NFL for forever.
Yeah, for a long time.
Far beyond the Chiefs, because the Chiefs in these the first organizations will come to a realization they're done giving what they used to give to the organization. It's time for us to move on, but it's not time for that person to move on from football.
Right.
And I think the best example right now that we see in that situation is Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers got his replacement drafted this year, and he's 37, which will be around the same age at the end of Patrick Mahomes' contract. And Aaron could easily play 6 more years with the way in today's NFL. He could, right. And my thing is,
today's NFL,
is he gonna stay there next year? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I would hope he would for Zach's sake, but he could easily go to another team and contend for Super Bowls if they have half of the weapons that the Green Bay Packers currently have.
All right, Recon Athlete, episode 90. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucero here. What's that?
Equanimous St. Brown. I'm trying to tell y'all.
I mean, we're sticking on this. I was just resetting for everybody that's joining us on the watch party. Man, I know who y'all are, but I just reset real quick. And Paul, you mentioned Tom Brady's rings, right? Mm-hmm. So he's got plenty. So Patrick Mahomes has one now. He's got potentially $500 million in his pocket. Moving forward in the next 10 years. How many more rings do we think Patrick Mahomes has in him? With the Kansas City Chiefs in this 10 years, I mean, there's a good possibility that he's got one coming up next year. They could possibly repeat and have 2. I mean, so, what do we put in the over under as far as, Super Bowl wins? Let's say he's already got one. Let's say Patrick, he's already got one. He does have one. After this 10 years that he's got with Kansas City, if he spends all 10 years, what's the over under of championship rings for Patrick Mahomes? Is it 2.5, 1.5?
Ooh,
2
more.
3.5?
I would say
so it's got to be
2.5.
2.5? 2.5 total.
Where I would.
So 3 total. If somebody's going over, they're saying 3. So you're saying 2 more in the next 10 years.
Right.
Paul, what do you think?
Well, I'm talking. I would think it would be. I would take the odds at 3.5 over.
Okay.
So I take four rings in the next 10 years. 4 more rings if he stays under contract with the Chiefs.
But their team is just going to get worse.
That's why we have the draft. That's why you have a good GM. That's why you have a good coach. I mean, look how well Philadelphia was doing with a quarterback who wasn't the same caliber of Patrick Mahomes. And then they were able to land T.O. They were able to carry that running game with Westbrook into the playoffs consistently, pissing off every Dallas Cowboy fan.
I think the thing that when you sign a quarterback for 10 years, you're hoping to get 10 years of positive wins and playoffs. Mm-hmm. 10 years is a long time to not pick high in the draft. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but at the same time, his contract is contingent on the CBA. So as the CBA increases, his cash will increase, but so will the total room and cap for extra players. Again, I'm not saying he's going to win 6 more rings. Mm-hmm. I'm saying he's going to win maybe 4.
So 4 total, so 3 more.
No, he'll have 5 total.
5 total. Okay, so you're saying okay. So I was including the 1 in the over under.
Oh, okay.
I was including the 1 in the over under. So you're saying 4.5 for his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay.
Yes.
We're at 3.5. BJ said he's taking the under at 3.5. So even at 4.5, I guess BJ's really taking the under on that. So okay. Dang, Paul, you got a lot of confidence in Patrick Mahomes, huh?
Paul got a lot of money to be betting, so Paul can just be throwing all this around.
I have a lot of confidence in Andy Reid because I've seen what he did in the NFC East for 20 years. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, and shout out to James Santa Cruz. He had an Aaron Rodgers comment. Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay has let me down as a diehard Packers fan. I got a Packers fan over here, Zach. We should have definitely won one more Super Bowl or won more than one Super Bowl. And he says, I don't blame him, though. I feel like he should have been surrounded with better talent. So,
I agree.
What do you think about that?
I agree. Rodgers. Like, I feel like whenever you have, like, as a franchise, like, as a fan of a franchise, like, you just want to be in a situation to win.
Yeah.
Like, and the Packers have had the opportunities. It's not like they're severely underachieving and they're not making deep playoff runs and they're not in these games. They're where they should be every year. They're just like a piece or two away from winning the game instead of trying again next year. Mm-hmm. So, but I agree that with the way that people talk about Aaron Rodgers, like you should have more than one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Under your belt.
Right.
At least appearance even.
Yeah. So let's get back to Patrick Mahomes and shout out to James on the watch party here for making his comment.
Shout out BJ.
Shout out BJ. He's definitely taking the under, he says, on those Super Bowl wins for Patrick Mahomes. And so Patrick Mahomes 10 years from now, I'm getting the I guess impression from Zach, at least, I don't know about you, Paul, that Patrick Mahomes, I think, Paul, you might have said it too, that Patrick Mahomes is not going to finish his career with the Kansas City Chiefs. Is that what you think, Zach?
I just don't see, I don't know if I could tell you a quarterback in the NFL right now that's going to finish where they're at.
Yeah, especially is it because of what Tom Brady's done?
And like Tom Brady, Brett Favre,
yeah,
Peyton
just all
Manning.
those guys you were talking earlier, yeah.
And well, I think it's most of all because Peyton Manning. Like Brett Favre did it, and I feel like that's part of why Peyton Manning did it. But Peyton Manning did it and won a Super Bowl. So now it's less. I want to play one more year because I love football and I want the check. Mm-hmm. It's now I want to play one more year because I might win because Peyton did.
Yeah, and I think all of them look back to their younger days when they saw Joe Montana do it. When he left the 49ers. So you get this big deal from the Chiefs. You're going to be 36 years old when this ends. Paul, I don't know, maybe you said earlier, but I was over here, messing around. Do you think he's going to stick with the Chiefs for the rest of his career? You think he'd retire after this?
I think it goes back to two things. This is. I'm just going to be real clear. Mm-hmm. If he walks away if he has more rings at the end of this contract than Tom Brady, he'll probably retire.
Same.
But if he doesn't, well, if Tom Brady gets one this year,
it's got to be 8.
Or if he, whatever the number, whatever. What I'm saying is that I think Patrick Mahomes wants to be the greatest quarterback that ever lived or ever played in the NFL. I think he wants that moniker. And the fortunate thing for him is at the end of this contract, he'll have another career to do it. He can play another 7 years after 36.
All right. Yeah. Well,
Tom Brady's 42, 43.
Well, he will have to change his game somewhat at that point, though.
But I definitely think that he's progressing to say that, because it was reported by one of the people at ESPN today that in his second year, Patrick Mahomes wasn't even able to read defenses midway through the season. And just think about how he's elevated so far. So the progression is unlimited. I don't think we've seen his ceiling, but I do agree. The older he gets, the more his game will have to change.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Recon Athlete, episode 90. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez on the line. Shout out to Snoop Daniel, Mr. Zach Luceto here on my right hand side. Shout out to everybody on the watch party. There's a lot of people on here. What's up, everybody? I know we were gone for a week. We were gone for a while. What'd you do for 4th of July?
Maybe we should just be gone for a really, really long time, and that's the only way we gain followers.
maybe after do 100, we'll take another break or something like that.
Yeah.
What'd you do 4th of July, man?
My lady friend parents are building a house in like in the Burnett Marble Falls area.
Okay.
Like over by like Buchanan, Inks Lake.
Got some money, huh?
And they like finished the pool, so we like hung out by the pool over there. But then I just came back.
Okay.
In the evening, so nothing crazy. I thought y'all were gonna invite me to Rage or something over here, but y'all didn't.
No, I didn't really rage. I don't know. Paul, what'd you do?
Ran some errands, picked up some food, picked up some booze.
What kind of errands can you run on 4th of July?
Everything's open.
Like running to get food and running to get booze.
Running?
Literally. I ran in my car.
Boy, Paul.
So the biggest things was that, I had to make sure I got my rent paid. And for everybody who has to pay their rent or the mortgage, you got to make sure you get those things done. And Zach, one day you'll figure out what that's like. And so I really wanted to make sure. No. You wouldn't be able to afford where I live. And so I really wanted to make sure I had things like taken care of before the fireworks started, because where I live, like it's kind of facing the countryside. And so, the fireworks show was pretty fun whenever the sun went down.
Right.
It was a private show, but it was good.
That's cool. So Zach's taking his pastor taco break. So shout out to Tacorito over there on the corner. I went by a pool myself on 4th of July, so that was good. I was supposed to have all of last week off, but unfortunately I didn't really have a day off. I was doing some type of work, every day. And
like work you got paid for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so I'm off contract. I was off contract technically, with my main job. But I'm supposed to get what they call flex time, so I'm supposed to be able to take days off during the year, to see what's up, whatever. And like, I don't think I'm gonna get that, dude. I got too much to do. You know what I mean?
Sounds like you need an agent to renegotiate your contract.
I don't know, man. We'll see, bro. We'll see. I got to shout out to my old boss, Scott Drillette. He started up in Dallas ISD. So cool. I don't know. That'd be like a step up. That'd be like if I went from where I'm at now to Dallas ISD. That'd be like going from 2A to the majors. You know?
Hey, man, do it.
You know what I mean?
Do it.
So we'll see. We'll see what's up.
All right.
But did anything else, Paul, while we were on the break? Anything else that you did while we were out there?
I watched a lot of boxing, man. ESPN is doing twice a week boxing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and so I got mad at myself yesterday because I was kind of doing some self work, working on Recon athlete, working for some stuff for the student athletes out there that we're going to be dropping soon, and I was like, dang, it's 9. I forgot the boxing's on, and so I watched the end of the co-feature and then watched the main event, which was fun. And, they're talking about all these big fights coming up, Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. And then, they're talking about, maybe somebody wants to maybe be challenging Canelo or Jamar Charlo. So there's a lot of big fights coming up. And then I don't know if you saw this or not, but it quietly dropped. I guess it's going to be Fury versus Wilder 3 in December. I think December 17th. So that dropped, but very quietly. So that's another big exciting fight. And then Zach's favorite fighter, Ryan Garcia, who I'm pretty sure he's a big fan of, is just agreed to terms to fight another challenger. And I'm sure that'll be coming up on the zone shortly in the coming months.
Yeah. So there's a go ahead, Paul.
A lot of good stuff, man. Just a lot of good stuff coming up. A lot of sports, and I y'all know me. I drop a lot of stuff in the group feed.
Yeah.
just to keep y'all up on things. Because I'm a nerd like that.
No, man, that's good. That's good. So one of the things, and so you always drop the topics in there, and I heard about this. I heard about this. The NBA, the meals.
Yeah, bro.
Because I hadn't seen it yet, but I heard I'll listen to the sports talk on SiriusXM, and I can't see. I'm trying to see where. Trying to see if I can find a picture of it.
It's super clickbaity. So if you click on that link and you scroll down a little ways, you'll see the Twitter photo that they embedded in that website. But it was a total. It's just clickbait, and so that's actually the NBA's welcome meal to the hotel. It's actually not a meal; it's really a snack.
Oh.
But it was really something that kind of caught wind, and when you throw Firefest on there, if you don't know what Firefest is, go do some Netflix homework. Yeah. And just the sheer nonsense of this meal for a professional athlete was ridiculous. And so, look, I said Firefest, that came back. And
okay, I see it.
And so when you see there's like no protein on that little tray, and so it's like, dude, these guys are professional NBA players. They're humongous human beings. Like, they can't run on watermelon, greens, and a piece of bread and some chips. Like, you're real.
There's a salad. There's some watermelon. There's some chips. There's a roll, and I guess there's like onions, and I guess there's butter for the roll, and I can't tell what that other thing is. And then maybe some like crisps, and maybe I guess maybe that looks like a cup of coffee. And then I don't know what that. I guess that's the salad dressing, that little orange-looking thing.
Yeah, and so you kind of look at that and you're like, is this what they're really feeding these professional athletes? And then it turns out not to be really true. It's just, you see that there and you're like, man, this is a multi-billion-dollar organization. They got to be doing something better in Disney World.
And that was just
doing some food trucks or something.
Yeah, that was just their welcome meal, though, right? That's what you said.
It's a snack. It was a welcome snack, really, of anything.
Like, hey, thanks for coming. Here's something to snack on real quick.
Yeah.
But even then, though, bro. Even then, like, even though it was just a snack, like, you're talking about NBA players, man. I mean, come on, like.
Well, see, check this out. So remember how I was talking about? I was watching this boxing on Tuesday night and Thursday night. Well, they got to show the little bubble where everybody eats, has their meals, so to speak, and so. One of the announcers, I'm not sure what his name is, but a Hispanic announcer for boxing came down, and they had a huge catering spread, and the ESPN commentator, he grabbed like 6 Red Bulls, and so I'm sure, with that being said about the Red Bulls, I'm sure that these organizations, Disney, is going to put out the red carpet and give these guys whatever they want, but maybe more like a buffet style, and say, hey, your food call is at this time. And so you come down, and if you want sports drinks, or if you want this kind of protein, this kind of, carb, this kind of vegetable, I'm sure they're going to have many options, and it'll be probably handled a little bit better than, we saw these pictures out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but still, man, you're trying to make an impression, though. Yeah. You're trying to make an impression, though, right?
Yeah, you see it and you're just like, this is what I expect on like a flight from Orlando to Texas.
Well, I mean, and let's just be real. If for some reason somebody were to invite, Recon athlete to go somewhere and do a live show somewhere, out of town, and put us up in a hotel, and they were like, here's a welcome meal, I'd be like, oh, dope.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be like, sweet, dude, look at this. Look, they give us a little bitty salad and a roll and some chips, and they're like, but it's free, so I'd be like, oh yeah, this is, I'll take it, I don't know. I think Zach might not be impressed though. If you were to get that NBA meal, like if we was doing something.
If someone invited Recon and gave us that, I'd be like, I'm checking into to the other hotel next door. I'll meet y'all at the game in the morning.
I always forget how bougie Zach is though.
You know damn well if they would have gave him that meal with the Dr. Pepper cream, he'd have been all
They
over
got
it.
Dr. Pepper cream.
All right, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different thing. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 90. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucero. Shout out to Snoop Daniel over in the Paddock Studios, Paddock Green room. Before we get to the Fight Island, other topics as assigned, this just kind of came up to me, or while I'm Googling things. And I didn't see this today, but this was today. And you know how Ivy League is like really smart schools?
Yeah.
Did you?
They're really smart schools.
I meant to leave this out on purpose, but
why?
Christian,
You want to talk about it?
because I wanted to say, yeah, but let's talk about it now.
No, I'm sorry. No.
No.
In the group message.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sorry, man. Dude, I'll tell you, that's how busy I am. Like, I see things and then I forget.
No matter
Bro,
what.
I
No
see
matter what, you never read the group message. So,
Dude, I see them. I read them. I see them.
You don't.
Well, just because sometimes I get down there and there's like 15 of them, so I don't scroll all the way back.
But
anyways, let's not talk about that then, man. Why do you want to keep it for Saturday, though? It happened today.
Let's talk about it right now.
Do you want to talk about it right now, Zach?
yeah, sure.
Okay. I just don't want to, you try to gotta stay fresh, bro.
Timely.
Yeah, timely. So
we're not talking about Dak Prescott.
man, we can talk about Dak if you want, man.
No, I don't. I don't want to talk about
No, yeah, you do,
Dak,
Paul.
man.
Good line.
I'm just tired of talking about Dak.
But if y'all, I would love for y'all to talk about Dak because I still got more tacos to eat. So
Where's Chris's
man.
taco?
Go eat your tacos, bro. You good?
no.
You didn't eat lunch?
So Ivy League said they're not going to have any of their fall sports
Take it over, Zach.
for this upcoming season.
because they're the smart schools.
Well, the Ivy League was the
that
first
means
one.
nothing.
I mean, I don't know, bro. You
There was Morehead State, which is HBCU, was the first one to cancel their football. Come on, bro. Okay. Let's be real. They were the
Ivy
first
League
one.
was the first one to cancel their conference tournament for basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I mean,
What brings the money?
I mean, they gave us Facebook.
Mark Zuckerberg gave you Facebook.
Yeah, but he came out the Ivy League, didn't he?
Stanford also cut 11 sports recently too. So I mean, it's the landscape of college athletics is definitely changing in terms of what's going to be available what's going to be available next year, and I think like do you think those the schools that are cutting sports, do you think in 2020 something later they're going to bring them back?
Oh, maybe.
Or do you think that's like they're going to be reaping so much financial benefit from not having to shell out that money?
They're not going to be reaping any kind of financial benefit if they don't get any of these kids on campus, man. Because I mean, you mentioned Stanford. I mean, who's going to want to pay, whatever it is a semester to go to Stanford, $70, $75, $100,000, $1,000 or whatever it is to go to school online. You know what I mean? And then you make all your money. If you're a college, you make all your money with like room and board and, for all those people out there. So that, I mean, the colleges are losing money regardless because of all this stuff.
But what if you could only pay $15,000 more than you would pay at the normal school that you're going to get an online education from Stanford? Like, what if because they're not going to be able to charge the same tuition.
They give you a discount,
right?
Give you a discount for doing online,
right?
You go to Stanford instead,
and then you're not going to have to you can teach more people because it's online. You're not having to be in the confines of a classroom. I assume you class sizes are larger for online classes than they are in lecture.
Right.
So what if they get more enrollment because of that?
So it's just like that, the theory behind, trying to get, and shout out to Coach Gutman who got on the watch party for a second because he used to teach economics. So we're talking about some economics here. So by lowering the price a little bit, you're saying you're going to attract more students.
Because I mean, and then all of a sudden you have an option to get a degree from Stanford.
Yeah, or Harvard, or
right.
Well, if you get into it, you got to get in. You got to get in first.
So if you're going to St. Ed's because you're poor, like what was you?
Dude,
do
St.
you
Ed's is
think
expensive, bro?
Do you think
it's a private
if
Catholic
you could
school.
pay like a few $1,000s more, like if St. Ed's is online as well, pay a few $1,000s more to get to have your degree say.
I mean, I probably paid as much as you did at Incarnate Word, that's for sure. But to have my degree say what?
But you get what I'm saying? Like anywhere else.
I don't know. I mean,
Because you
St.
no
Ed,
longer, like if you're trying to go to like if you're like dream school is USC or something like that, you no longer have to go to California to get a degree from USC.
so they give you a discounted education.
Right.
Paul, do you want to answer this question? Because I would say yes just to get that name
Right.
on a diploma. Paul?
What the hell does this have to do about the football season?
I don't know, dude. We're going off track for a minute. I'm going to bring it back, though. You know me, I'm a bus driving. I'll bring it back.
I'm going to stick with Zach, and if I can take a discounted, high-profile education, I'm going to take it.
Right. So, right. But they're not doing that yet. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I don't think they will. I don't think they will because what private school is going to lower their price due to some pandemic? They're going to be like, no, we're not lowering our prices because we have our whole revenue stream is donors and our tuition, unless you're a big football program.
Well, and you know, a lot of it is, you know, the on-campus living. You know,
But isn't that tied into your tuition, room and board?
Well, I mean,
it's tied into what you pay.
It's tied into what, not into the tuition. Yeah, I mean, you have to pay extra, you know, to live on campus and to have that, you know, on the food and all that other stuff.
Sure, there's separate expenses.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure, there's separate expenses, but I mean, it's a payment you make at the beginning of each semester. True.
Or you can, you know, or if you're poor,
payment plan.
If you're poor like me, you get on a payment plan, or you get a bunch of school loans. So,
I mean, I went to a state school and I was on a payment plan, so I don't know what y'all are talking about. I'm just saying.
Man,
look at him now. He's got all this money. Look at him now.
I know.
We should have gone to public school, Chris.
Y'all are better. Y'all are better than me because y'all went to private school.
Yeah, he's driving big cars. It's like he's a movie star.
Says the guy with the new car.
Oh man, I got no new car. So the Ivy League is not gonna play fall sports. They were the first Division I conference to suspend sports for the upcoming fall season. Are they just smarter than everybody else? Like they are in real life? Are they just smarter than everybody?
I
because
think they can just afford to do it.
They went to their doctors and their research people on their campus and were like, "Hey, what do y'all think?" And they were like,
Well, do you think this had more to do with doctors or economists?
That's a good question.
Because if you're an Ivy League school,
I like that one.
Your breadwinner isn't your football team or your sports. It's
not
the academics.
It's the academics, yeah.
As opposed to like if you're like the Big 12 will never can't afford to do that. The Ivy League can afford to do that. So I wonder in these meetings who sat at the head of the table. Was it Dr. Economics, Dr. Economics, or Doctor?
Paul?
It was the lawyers. Through the economics.
Dr. Law.
That's who it was.
Snoop says it was Dr. Feelgood.
It's the lawyers, fellas. I mean, this is an easy thing to talk about. I mean, we all know what drives this world. What drives America?
Money.
Dr. Green Thumb?
Money. Right. Dr. Green Thumb. There you go. If you're going to be a gardener. It's CYA. They said, look, if you bring these students back and if someone contracts COVID-19 and potentially passes away, there's going to be a lawsuit. Who wants to be liable? Not I is the vote. Everybody stay home. Everybody stay on these classes.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So Paul says it's Dr. Laws.
It's economics. That's right.
But that's only at the college level, right? This is only at the college level we're talking about.
I mean, we're gonna talk about the tort law right now too, or what?
Well, I'm just saying that. Are you saying that at the pro level and at the high school level too? Because
I think it's going to be left to the states. I think that's what the feds are going to do.
I mean,
they're going to leave it to the state, and that's what they've done potentially.
I mean, they're pushing and pushing.
You had a league in New England, in the Northeast, and they all collectively have a similar mindset. And they said, look, let's just all cancel sports. We don't need to bring fans here. We don't need to put athletes at risk. And they said, let's move forward.
All right.
Table it.
So the Ivy League Council of Presidents said in a statement, quote, "We simply do not believe we can create and maintain an environment for intercollegiate athletic competition that meets our requirements for safety and acceptable levels of risk. We are entrusted to create and maintain an educational environment that is guided by health and safety considerations. There can be no greater responsibility, and that is the basis for this difficult decision," end quote. And I like how they put in there educational environment. Like that is their that was kind of like that's what we were entrusted to create and maintain.
That's true. But I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it back to sports. Are they going to let those recent recruits who signed national letter of intent? Are they going to let them get out of that and go to a different school?
Well, I mean,
without making them sit here. I sure hope so.
I would hope so. I would hope so. But they're also leaving the door open with these Ivy League schools to move some of these to the spring.
And that's the next thing I wanted to get into. Since we're going to talk about this, I don't see college sports happening. I'm sorry, I don't see college football happening in the fall. I think they're going to move everything to the spring and wait for a vaccine.
Really?
Yeah, I really have the strong feeling that college football will not be played because I think that they want to lean heavily on the NFL, and the NFL has more resources, and I think the NFL has said, we have enough on our plate, we need to figure it out. And I think collectively, all the leagues are going to say, let's just wait till the spring to have our season, because right now it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
So potentially, go ahead.
So potentially we haven't flattened the curve. We're still technically on an uptick, according to experts. And with that being said, go ahead.
I'm just saying, it's in an exponential rise right now.
COVID cases that are testing positive, yes, but deaths, no. And so with that being said, I think that because there's so many cases rising, they're saying we don't want the bad optics. And they're just going to say, let's just wait until there's a win-win for everybody to move things to the spring. I just feel that way.
All right.
There's too much risk, and there's too much potential for lawsuits. If anybody, God forbid, passes away from it.
Well, I mean, I do see that. I do see that point. But let me make another point about that, moving football to the spring. So,
okay.
So if they're able to move, football to the spring, potentially you have a vaccine, potentially you have full football stadiums, and you have, back to the economics of it, you have all of that all those people back in the seats, you have all the tailgates, you have all the hotels filled, you have all the Uber cars filled, you have all the restaurants filled. And for towns that are, college towns like Tuscaloosa, College Station, maybe even Lubbock, some of these college towns, if they don't have those butts in the seats and those restaurants and those, everything full, that whole economic boom that you get is gone. So for me, I think if they do move it to the spring, yeah, there is that, like you said, that tort possibility. But it also gives them a possibility to have, all of these fans in the stadium, in the hotel rooms, in the restaurants, in the Uber cars, buying, souvenirs and all that other stuff. I think that's the drive that would move it to the spring. Agree or don't agree?
No, I wholeheartedly feel the potential for a lawsuit is far greater to wait. It makes more sense to wait than it does to run the risk of all of those individuals and that economic boom for the fall. That's just where I see it.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, like if they do it in the fall, they've been talking about not having as many, fans in the seats.
I mean, do you want 50% or 20% of potentially what you could get, or zero? I mean, I think that's what we have to ask ourselves.
I mean, I would want 100%. So if you move it to the spring, then you have the vaccine and you have no restrictions.
Right, and that's
possibly.
Then what are we talking? Okay, then I'm missing something. I'm in agreement with moving it to the spring.
So am I.
Are you?
I am. Okay. I am as well, but for a different reason. Not because of lawyers, because of the economics.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same thing, but I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, we are. We're both in agreement. We both say that we're moving to move it to the spring.
Just for different reasons.
Just for a different reason. For me, I think the driving force behind moving it to the spring would be the economic reason. So then that way you can have everything full. You wouldn't have to do 25% or 50% or any of that crap. So.
No, don't challenge that a bit. I think you're 100% on point.
And for the Ivy League schools, I mean, just for people that don't know, the Ivy League schools are Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth, Harvard, Penn, Princeton, and Yale. So shout out to the Ivy League schools. They know what they're doing. All right, Recon
I
Athlete.
forget Dartmouth.
Episode 90, what?
I always forget Dartmouth is in there.
Nerds.
Yeah. Nerds.
Yeah, thank you, Snoop.
Nerds.
Thank you, Snoop.
Did you ever watch Revenge of the Nerds, Zach?
Nope.
Yes.
I know Paul did.
I come here and listen to you guys talk every Wednesday. It's already Revenge of the Nerds.
Have you looked in the mirror,
That was a good one.
Lisa? I mean, seriously.
That was a good one. I like that one. Made me chuckle a little bit. Let me chuckle.
Thank you.
All right, Recon Athlete, episode 90. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucero. Shout out to Snoop Daniel over there eating his ice cream from Sonic. Oh man. I want to shout out to Stephanie. Happy birthday.
Shout out.
Stephanie Marie. She's usually on our watch party, but she's having her birthday party. So we did one of those. Her friend Amber put together one of those drive-by parade style, birthday things. So like they had it basically. It was her. It was the birthday girl Stephanie, and then like 5 of her friends, and then everybody else that surprised her were, lined up the cars on the street, like down the road, and then everybody drove by and, waved. They had balloons and posters or whatever. So it was dope.
Did you honk your horn?
Honk your horn. Yeah. I honked my horn.
Imagine being her neighbor that doesn't really know her. That's
So this was that was the thing. Like they had it over at one of the middle schools over here off of Anderson Mill. So they were like in a, like they had the setup. So it was easy. No. It was just it's close to where she lives.
Okay.
The HOA probably didn't approve of it.
But they didn't want to have a party. I guess they didn't want to have a big party like inside. I guess I don't know. So it was cool. It was cool. Yeah, we cruised by there. But today's her.
My birthday's in October. You think I could have a big party?
I don't know, man.
By October.
Got to get them tests, man.
As of like right now, would you think October would be?
How big of a party?
20,
would it be out?
20,
Would it be outside or inside?
One of those like inside outside type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you could do that by then.
Because right now you're not supposed to have gatherings of more than 10.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that'll go away by October?
Man, I don't know, dude. I don't think any of this is going away anytime soon, man. The way we're.
I'm not talking about go away. I'm just saying like get better to the point where they get rid of the number.
I don't know, man. If we're in herd, was it herd immunity by then? Possibly.
Gerard herd.
Yeah, Gerard herd immunity.
Shout out Gerard herd. He got wronged at Texas, I think.
You think he did?
Yeah, he should have got more opportunity at quarterback.
Yeah, he was good. He was Geyer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good at Geyer.
He put up like 700 yards against West Virginia.
Yeah.
When they lost by that extra point, they missed the extra point. And then they didn't give him no opportunity, moved him to receiver and didn't even use him.
Why do you think they did that?
I don't know, man. Well, who was there with him, Paul? Do you remember? You're gonna be like, "Oh, this is dumb. I don't know what we're talking about this." Who was there? Was that wasn't Case McCoy, was it? No.
I don't know.
Bueller.
I'm looking it up right now. Rod
I don't know why we're
Hurd.
talking about this. We should be talking about Dak.
Rod Hurd. What was it 2014 to 2018? Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't it Tyrone Swoops?
Oh. People also search for Tyrone Swoops. David Ash. Shane Buechele.
I think David Ash was good at Texas. I liked him.
Yeah. He's Belton, right?
Right.
How do I know this stuff?
But yeah, Gerard Hurd got wrong at Texas.
Shout out Gerard
Heard it
Hurd.
here first.
Shout out Gerard Hurd.
Shout out Herd Immunity. Shout out.
What was the other topic?
Fight Island.
NBA. We talked Fight Island. We talked NBA. We
didn't
talked
talk
Patrick
Fight Island.
Mahomes. We didn't talk Fight Island?
No, sir.
Oh, I was going to talk Fight Island, but then I got into the NBA thing. Oh, yeah. So Fight Island. I'm sorry.
I think we should have Paul lead the segment.
Fight Island. Yeah, Paul, you want to lead this one?
Sure, since I'm there.
Do it.
So Fight Island, back in Abu Dhabi. I'm not sure if y'all have y'all seen any of the embed of the fighters coming in, flying in. Basically, you fly on this dope jet, and it's I don't know. I think it's better than first class. Basically, you get a bed with a partition and 3 square meals, some silk pajamas. Anyway, UFC 251, or how Zach calls them, pajamas. UFC 251 in Abu Dhabi, Fight Island. There's 3 championship fights on that card, but it's kicked off with 2 female fighters, and I'll kind of heard a little feedback. Sorry about that. Kicking off the women's flyweight division, Amanda Ribas versus the sexy Paige Van Zant. Women's strawweight bout, Jessica Andrade versus Rose Namajunas. Title bout in the bantamweight, men's Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo. And then the featherweight title fight, Alexander Volkanovski, versus Max Holloway, the Hawaiian. And in the main event, Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Gamebred Masvidal. And Masvidal is actually took the fight on short notice, 6 days notice. So I'm pretty sure he's a heavy underdog going into that fight.
And this is all going to be on the beach, right?
Actually, no, it's going to be indoors. You see a lot of photos of a training octagon on the beach.
Oh, okay.
Great photo op.
Maybe that's what I
It's
saw.
it's a great photo op. But
December.
this is a different kind of heat. This is in the middle of the desert, and everything's going to be inside. The crazy thing about it is these fights are going to be early in the morning because the time slot in the United States, the main event, is kicking off at 9. Mm-hmm. So all of these fights in Abu Dhabi are going to be starting at 6 a.m. Kind of a crazy time to be having championship fights in Abu Dhabi, but for the American consumer and the Western consumer, we're willing to, they're willing to make those.
That's a perfect time for the newest UFC fan, Snoop Daniel, 6 a.m.
But just think how weird that is, though. Being a fighter, your alarm going off at it's 6 o'clock, and you're oh, time to go fight this dude. Good morning, time to go fight this dude.
Well, that's what I was saying. A lot of these UFC embeds on ESPN and also on YouTube. Embed. Oh. They're showing the progression. Each fighter, as they're kind of going overseas and going through the protocols for COVID-19 testing. It's pretty nuts just to see what they're having to go through. I think they're tested 6 times before they fight between now and fight time, showtime, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, got a little note from James. Shout out James Santa Cruz on here. He said Masvidal's coach tested positive for COVID, so he won't be cornering for Masvidal.
Shout out James.
So yeah.
So another side note, James will be joining us Saturday for a little more in-depth UFC 251 coverage.
Oh, is this your homie?
Yeah. He's from Lockhart, America.
Lockhart, America. Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Y'all go. How far back y'all go?
I know
to
James
say, Chris.
probably.
Oh, was that so hard for you to say?
I don't
Probably
know.
like 6 years.
You still thinking? Oh, okay. I thought you'd be
Well,
like
I was-
25 years.
I was
We've been going
trying
back
to
since
say
like
it.
30
I was trying to
years.
say it.
He's like,
I was trying to say it, but y'all kept talking.
well, Zach's over here making fun of me. So
Zach's trying to make fun of everybody, but you know it's not doing so well.
yeah, and he also had a question. He said, "How do you guys think COVID will impact fantasy football this year?"
We talked about that the other day.
Yeah, didn't we?
Like what do you do if you're
Do we get a COVID slot?
Yeah.
Do we get a COVID slot? Have we changed our minds on that? Because I think we should. Yeah, IR.
Right. So do you think more leagues add that IR spot because you're not going to drop someone if they're probably only going to be out or hopefully only going to be out 2 weeks and they're going to come back in after they get some positive tests.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
COVID slot.
But you can. But let's say you're a commissioner, so you can make the rules.
So for the Recon League,
right? For the Recon. Okay, so let's say for the Recon League,
Paul, since you're the commissioner,
are we going to have a COVID spot?
Hell yeah, we may have two. No, for real, we may have two COVID. We may have two
COVID spots and an IR spot.
Yes.
So you have to be in that COVID spot. You have to have tested positive for COVID, and you'll be out for 2 weeks.
And if you put someone in the COVID spot that doesn't have COVID, Paul drops them from your team.
Yeah.
But here's the caveat: they have to have COVID, and once you use one COVID spot, you no longer have that available. So, like, if you have a player who in the future tests positive, SOL, son, drop them.
So is it like the challenge system where if you put someone in the COVID slot and they get better, do you get it back?
No,
you get it back.
No.
If they die, you
lose that slot.
But I like that. I like that idea though, Paul.
Yes. I've been thinking about this because I knew you two were going to gang up and say, "Oh, Paul, you're the commissioner." I'm like, "All right, well, here we go."
So smart.
So yeah, I wish I was. I wish I went to a private school. And so I thought about this and said, if we could really,
yeah.
What did he say?
Snoop's saying he's saying you have to have more rounds and bigger rosters as well.
There'll be an extra round at the end for all the people that currently have COVID that you could draft from.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a supplemental COVID COVID round.
A supplemental COVID round.
Okay.
Or a pharmaceutical round.
Or if they said that they weren't going to play because of COVID, and then they decide like 3 weeks in that they play.
I like that. Yeah. Those are things I have a discussion on. But for sure,
you could draft David Price, Chris, in your baseball league.
Yeah.
In the supplemental.
Dang, Snoop's saying 5 extra rounds. Snoop wants all the players on his team.
Yeah, right.
Snoop, we might have to do 5 rounds if there's only going to be like 6 people in it.
No, I mean like 5 extra. Well, we're doing 5 extra rounds, you said?
Yeah, there's only like.
We're going to fill up the Recon.
Nah, we'll fill it up. It'll be me, you, Zach, BJ. Snoop won't be in it. BJ, James will be in it.
I got Kalunga in there.
I bet you Wes will do it.
That's already like 6 people.
Wes will do it for sure.
Well, we need 10 or 12.
Oh, man, we can do that easy. Reed will get in it. Emo will get in it.
Man, we're nerds.
Dude, let's see. I'm just looking at my watch party.
Just
yeah.
think of all the COVID
let's put it this way. Any trade that comes across my desk from BJ is getting vetoed.
I'm gonna vote no for it too.
Vetoed.
Until he gets
put that out there,
BJ.
name. So you listen. Veto, sir.
Yeah. So we almost have a 10-team league just by naming those.
Just all people off the top of your head.
Yeah.
Just the fingers that I can see you're counting on.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen the pictures of the courts in the NBA bubble?
Nah.
Pull it up.
But I did heard was it Austin Rivers talking big noise about how he's got like a home court advantage in Orlando because he spent so much time out there. Is that true, Zach? What you know about that?
Well, Austin Rivers also was. I think he's just trying to hype it up too, because he's saying that whoever wins this championship will have an asterisk by it because it'll be the toughest championship that's ever been played. Like it'll be the best one.
It'll be an asterisk because it'll be the hardest.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
So Austin Rivers is really trying to hype up this stuff. He's probably in cahoots with the league. They're probably paying him.
Well, all I know is I saw LeBron, like, just working out a little bit with his face mask and doing some dribbling drills. Man, he looks playoff ready.
So are these the courts they're actually playing on or they're practicing on?
Yeah, see, I don't know.
These got to be practice courts.
I don't know.
It got to be.
It's still cool though.
I mean, yeah, it's just like in a big old convention room. They got 4 basketball courts set up. That looks weird though, man.
Yeah, wild, right?
It's like little dribblers, right?
Yeah.
It looked like an AAU tournament.
Exactly.
Man, I gotta look this up, man.
For Saturday.
So Zach, what are you thinking? Like, who do you think has the edge in the East and the West to kind of make a championship series?
You see, I don't know if I can break it down like that specific because I haven't been doing my fantasy NBA, so I don't know all the players. But I don't, and I think in all of these like short seasons restart leagues like MLB and NBA, I don't think it's going to be a favorite.
Really? Like it could be like my Rockets getting in doing some damage,
right? Because I don't think it takes like, especially the Rockets is a great example because it doesn't take much to jack up a lot of threes and for James Harden to play the way he does. It doesn't take a lot of team practice. Like it doesn't like you can be out of shape and still do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
And I think the quicker you can start, like the quicker you can be out of practice and get up and play, teams that can do that are going to be the teams that do the best.
Okay.
Clutch City, baby. Clutch City.
So,
let's do it.
And that goes the same for baseball. I think the same thing for baseball as well.
Okay. So the Recon League, we already got Wes in. James is already in.
Shout out, James.
Wes said, I need free money. It's going to be a money league too, Zach.
Oh,
so.
yeah. I'm trying to put up a G
Okay.
at least.
Okay.
I'm trying to buy in a G.
Oh, for real?
Buy in.
Yeah.
For,
G.
yeah, okay.
For real?
Yeah. I'm trying to pay for transactions too.
I mean, okay.
You have to sponsor Recon to get in.
Hey, Zach. Now we talking. Now we talking.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, I don't know. I don't know if everybody's down for a G. I mean, they might be. You never know, but put a whole stack on it.
By the time the end of the season, you've already recouped that G, anyways.
I'm getting boozed up, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I can do it. I know you can. I know you can do it. Paul can do it.
I can do it.
Man, that'd be $10,000.
You goddamn right.
Winner take all.
Yeah.
Winner take all.
First and second.
First and second.
Let's be real.
Oh man.
First and second. Super Bowl pays.
That'd be big time. Big time. Are we doing something illegal right now though?
Yeah, is it illegal if it gets that much?
Like, do we have to give them have everybody sign like a W-9 or something?
You gotta buy Bitcoin to play.
Yeah, I know, right?
The Super Bowl gonna be at Chris' crib. Chris gonna pull up with the briefcase handcuffed to his arm.
Yeah, I know.
We're just kidding, everybody. We're just kidding.
James called you out. James said Mr. No Rent can do it.
Oh!
That's what's up. All right, man. Recon Athlete, episode 90. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Luceto. Shout out to West and James. And shout out to BJ.
Your taco's getting cold, Chris.
My taco's getting cold. Any other topics as a sign before we wrap this thing up, Zach?
Y'all should both look into finding some sort of free trial of Showtime to watch the Greg Kelly Outcry documentary.
I started watching that. I started watching, not here, but I started watching. Is it good?
It's pretty crazy.
All right. I don't know if I should say it, but never mind.
Saturday.
I'll say it Saturday. Maybe. Because I don't. Never mind. I'll tell you off air.
Yeah, tell me off air.
Yeah, because I don't want to. Yeah. Paul, have you seen it at all, or do you have Showtime?
I think you can get 30-day free trial of Showtime anywhere.
I haven't seen it, but I know the story.
Yeah. Well, I started kind of watching it a little bit the other day. So you watched the whole thing?
Watch the whole thing. 5 1-hour episodes.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Powerful is that?
Yeah. Well, I cried everything, but I cried.
Oh, mijo, no llores. Okay.
So, oh man, Emo says I'm out. He says I'm out.
Damn.
Because we were talking about the 1,000.
He don't got a G in his name. His name only 3
That's
letters. EMO, none of it.
We're trying to get to. We're starting at a G, Emo, and we're gonna try to blow it up to where it's gonna be a G wagon to get in.
Yeah.
At some point after 10 years. All right, man. Well, shout out to everybody that was on our watch party, man. Shout out to Snoop Daniel over there in the. You gonna be on the show Friday with Snoop?
Yep.
You every Friday?
Yeah. Hey, Snoop, I'm every Friday, right? Yes.
You up Friday?
Cricket. So I heard cricket.
Is he every Friday? Every Friday on Flex? Zach.
Yeah, I'm every Friday.
Yeah, he's. So check out Zach and Snoop on Friday Flex. The Horn, 104.9 The Horn, 7 to 9.
I'm trying to get that
Paul Rodriguez is on there too.
That, pre-recorded voice to say my name and Snoop's name at the beginning of the show.
Well, just okay. Let me. I'll tell you what you can do. You can learn how to produce, and you can make it yourself.
Yeah.
You can make it yourself.
All
right, we can do it right here.
You teach me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got Adobe Audition.
All
right. I made the Corona siren.
All right, everybody. This has been Recon episode number 77. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Shout out to the watch party.
We got number 91 coming.
90.
We got Wes talking about NBA fantasy.
We're gonna do Recon for everything. Everything fantasy. Even the fantasy that we know. No, nope. We gotta try. Nope. We gotta try it.
We gotta do NBA.
I'll do MLB in the Recon one. After I save my G up for the MLB.
I will roll y'all in the MLB. The only person that could challenge me is Snoop, and he don't like to be in the friend leagues.
Yeah, well, Snoop's my.
He's gonna be your coach.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No advising.
I'm just gonna draft everyone that played on the Round Harry Men.
Oh, okay. All right, man. Paul Rodriguez, what do you shout out? Who you shouting out?
Shout out to God. Shout out my family. You three numbskulls, and I guess that's it, man. I mean, I'm tired of all this. I'm tired of COVID. I'm just gonna say I'm tired of COVID. Give us a break.
All right, Zach.
Shout out the Dolphins.
Thank you for saying that, because Emo keeps talking about his Dolphins over here on the watch party. I won't let it go. I'm gonna shout out to God and shout out to my parents, everybody that was on the watch party. Welcome back to Recon Athlete. Welcome back to Zach Lucetto, Paul Rodriguez, and everybody. Thanks to y'all for joining us tonight. We'll be here Saturday morning if I'm not playing golf with Patrick Mahomes the day before. All right.
What?
Paul Rodriguez. I'll tell you off air.
I'm not going to be there.
Well, I'll just stay on the line.
Oh, okay.
I'll call you here in a minute.
Yeah, do that.
Okay. All right. Paul, do your thing.
Hey guys, why don't y'all subscribe? Like the video. Push the bell. Everybody on YouTube, we'll let you know we upload. We gone.
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry. I thought this was America.